So I watched the first episode of Boogie Bop, and
You have no idea what the hell is going on.
I mean, yes,
Oh,
exactly.
I knew that
How
because
did you know?
because I felt the same way too.
Oh, also we could talk about maybe the thing we should talk about is instead of whether or not Cells at Work is a good show, we should just talk about the upcoming season.
Yeah, that.
I mean,
that
we
can
should do
work
that
too.
anyway, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That makes
That'd
way
be
more sense.
Easy.
Makes way
Just,
more
like,
sense.
Pop a link in and yeah, go through it easy.
Here is Annie chart because I've unfriended my
My-
I'm gonna sort by airing or start date. We have One Punch Man starting in 1 day.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah, 1 day, 5 hours. So that means
Oh.
like tomorrow at 11 or 10 for you, or like 6 in the morning for.
Any of you actually like really keen on it?
I'm really worried about it because it's not Madhouse, it's JC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And
That's-
JC staff, like, I
They
have
do
nothing
JoJo all
against
the time,
them,
don't
but
they?
they don't do good animation.
They
They do
don't
JoJo all
they
the
don't
time,
do
don't they?
action. JC staff don't do action really.
Oh, wait, no, they do. That's David. Never mind.
David does JoJo.
Yeah,
David
never
also
mind.
does Cells at Work, which is one of the strangest things I've ever heard. But yeah, JC staff doesn't really do action. They're like, in general, I'm never impressed by their animation.
hmm
But they're also doing the Konosuba movie.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
comedy though. Like when you hear Konosuba, it's like you don't say action. It's like it's
That's
comedy,
true. That's true.
right?
Well, no. But JC staff did do Danmachi.
But
I
that's
guess,
like
depending
not.
on your opinion.
I
It's
wouldn't.
yeah.
Mm.
I'd say adventure or like yeah. There's action elements, but it's almost like it comes off more like harem or like fantasy.
I'll agree with you.
I agree with that, yeah.
It has action, and yeah, there is some good action in there, but you know, it's not action focused. I'd say.
I think One Punch
Adventure,
Man's
yeah.
probably along the same lines. It's not like... It's action elementy, right? But it's not
But
purely
But
action.
then you're forgetting if you ask the average like viewer, like what's the best thing about One Punch Man? It's probably the animation. Like that's what a lot of people would say. They don't, whether they realize it or not, the animation on One Punch Man, the first season, is an absolute godsend from like
Yeah, it's
team
iconic.
of. It's the
That's
most
true. That's
team
true.
like the most talented team of animators working on that, you know, and it's almost a meme because they didn't want to, you know, they were like, oh, One Punch Man, look at the original, you know, why don't we just get like a whole bunch of crazy people to work on it, and it'll be like such a crazy meme because, you know, no one's gonna expect anything from
Essentially, they
this.
did the same thing that the One Punch Man manga did, where they saw one and they were like, "This story is interesting," and then they gave it to the best artist they have.
Yeah, pretty much. So now season 2. I mean, a lot of people aren't aware that, you know, it's going to be done by a different team of animators,
studio.
a studio.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Do they have
so
the same director even?
I do not know that.
Let us find out. So, One Punch Man Season 1, directed by Shingo Natsume. One Punch Man Season 2, directed by Chikara Sukarai. Okay.
Yeah.
So, different director. I don't know. I don't feel good about this one.
Yeah, I actually didn't feel good about it when they announced it like a year ago or something.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at, you know, I guess because it's coming out now or in a day. I noticed trailers and PVs coming out in the last month or so, and if you look at the
Mhm.
comments and the reaction to that, a lot of people are like just shitting on the animation. It's almost like people just aren't aware of it. Yeah. Very
Wow.
Even
surprising.
if, I mean, like,
Truly unfortunate.
what carries One Punch Man, I don't think a lot of people realize, is the character and comedy, even if the animation is what makes a lot of people watch it. In the same way that, I guess, a lot of Kiwani works are like that.
Sure. I think
I mean, that's what I thought, but it's not even by the same director now, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about too. Hey, did you know that the director of One Punch Man Season 1 is the same director as Boogie Pop,
very cool.
and also Space Dandy?
Very cool. No wonder it's so quirky. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Also, there's a Space Dandy season 2 coming in. Okay. No,
I thought
there's
Space
2
Dandy
seasons. There's
already
season.
came
Yeah,
out,
okay.
yeah.
I'm just going crazy. Okay. Other things of note? I don't know. You guys care about Aikatsu Friends? Yokai Watch?
No.
What?
Oh, there's Fruits Basket. I remember seeing posts of this on Facebook by my non-anime friends.
Yeah.
Because
Told my
it's
sister about
Fruits
it.
Basket.
I told my sister about it because she was very obsessed with Fruits Basket for a period in her life.
It's Fruits Basket 2019. What studio is this? Is this also JC stuff? TMS.
TMS.
Directed by... Well, okay. I don't recognize any of these names. I don't see any anime that I like. I don't know.
There is a music anime, Kono Oto Tomare, that's coming out in a week, it seems.
Don't know about it tomorrow. I see
Platinum
this.
Vision,
Okay,
I don't know
I'm
who
gonna
they
click
are
on
now.
it.
Yep.
Kono Oto Tomore. How do you... What's the English of this? That way I don't... There's not an English translation on the left.
No, there's not.
What the heck is a Koto Club?
Koto
It's a
is a
it's a-
traditional
it's a-
Japanese instrument. It's
It's
kind of like
the
it's like a
long
harp, I
sitar.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
Director...
A harp for a Western reference, I guess.
This is the first time this director is making anything, so we have to go to the studios. This is the 6th time that this studio is making anything. I don't know, I'm not keen on that.
I just want to listen to the music. That's all. I'm not
That's
sure if it's
fair.
gonna actually like. I know this. Like I read the source material actually, and I think
Oh, you
it's
read
very
the
good.
manga? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
So it's
usually
like,
that's usually my thing for homing in on good stuff. But
So it's like Shigatsu, where if you read the manga, you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. Now I want to see the anime because it's actually a music anime, so there should be good music.
yes, pretty much.
Oh, that's right. Freaking what's it called? We Never Learn is coming out next season.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You never learn?
Yeah, Nisekoi season 2.
Oh, God.
We Never Learn is I don't know if you know the lore, but Nisekoi has this like spin-off with like the Onodora magical girl patissiere or something.
Okay.
Like Onodora patissiere something. Anyway, in that one, the spin-off is written and drawn by a different artist than the Nisekoi artist. But that person, once Nisekoi finished, and once he finished with patissiere, is that the right word? Then he started his own horror manga, We Never Learn,
Oh, boy.
which has actually taken the place of Nisekoi and Shonen Jump, I believe. I don't think it's like 1-to-1, but kind of
Wow.
feels like it.
Okay.
It also feels better than Nisekoi. Let's call out.
Hmm.
I know Anime News Network is pretty hyped about Carol and Tuesday.
I'm gonna. It's Studio Bones, so I'm already excited.
I'm looking
It's
for
it's
it.
Shinichiro Watanabe.
Oh.
Okay, I'm hype about
okay.
Carol and Tuesday.
I am still
Look,
trying to find it here.
It's made by Watanabe, and it's a music anime. Like, there's no way this could go wrong.
Yeah, I know.
It's unstoppable.
Wow. Oh, here it is.
Wait, why is it sci-fi?
I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'm willing to put my life on the line for Watanabe.
Oh, really? Wow. Damn. The dedication there.
Do we know the music director, which seems like it'd be kind of important.
That'd be pretty important for a music anime,
So
yeah.
I guess
Let's
I'll
find out.
look it up on my anime list. Forced to go to my anime list because I don't have.
You
music
mean
director here?
composer or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
there's no composer here or anything.
Yeah.
Not on Nile either.
Nope. Oh, it's dual directed with another guy.
Who's the other dude?
Gonna be blunt. Doesn't seem important. Like, I don't know
see.
this person.
I see.
Motonobu Hori san. He's worked with him he's worked on Beck,
Oh,
on
that's good.
Ghost in the Shell. Like but he's never been a director, right? He's only done like
Oh, he's just done
small-
work on it, rather. Okay.
Yes, he did storyboard, character design, episode direction, stuff like that. But he's not done. This is the first time he's doing straight up directing.
Hmm.
I'm surprised it's not on AniList. Maybe that's the only problem I have with AniList. It doesn't usually have full staff yet. Like Anime News or My Anime. AniList does not have full staff compared to My Anime List.
Yeah.
Like
Call it Mal
names.
for short.
Mal, yes. There's a Bungo Stray Dogs Season 3, if someone cares about that. There's a Dogo Kobo. Is it an original? It's a manga. I feel like I should mention the Dogo Kobo because there's people who just like, if you like Dogo Kobo, if you like the kind of stuff that Dogo Kobo makes, then you like everything that Dogo Kobo makes, so there's a Dogo Kobo show. Please be informed. Sawayaki Kitsune no Senko-san. Or in English,
I'm not sure there's an English for it yet.
there's not an English one, so it's Sawayaki Kitsune no Senko-san. It is from a manga. The director. He did Token Ranbu. That's fine. It's a Dogo Kobo. I don't know what to tell you. There is also, I am keen for Hitori Bochi. Only because I read the manga.
Oh, that was some good feels.
Yes, it's very comfy. This, the studio gives me pause. The director also gives me pause. He did Glass Slip. I don't know about that. But, I don't know. It's it's comforting. It's comfy. It's a comfy show. I'm supportive of that.
I feel like it would be pretty hard to really mess up.
Yeah,
So-
like there's like a base level of okay, right? I'll
Yeah.
believe in it. I have full faith, especially since the studio also did Harukana Receive, and that's like the peak of really good shows, right? Yep. Okay.
Oh, alright, so I need to
Yep.
put that on the to-watch list.
Oh boy. How about you, Shin? You got anything you're actually looking forward to?
I'd say personally no, but I know just from looking at the list that the biggest three, I think the majority of anime fans are hyped for is definitely One Punch Man, Bungo Stray Dogs, and Attack on Titan.
Is there another Attack on Titan? I didn't even notice it.
It's a continuation.
Literally
of the third
right
season.
there in the middle of us all.
Yeah.
I have stopped caring about Attack on Titan so much.
Wait, only
But
10
they're
episodes.
still doing though. Yeah, I mean, well, it's the second half of the third season.
Yeah,
so-
with 10 episodes? Oh, they've reached enough popularity that they can just do however long they need to do. That's
Pretty
good,
much.
at least.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a good thing.
I think the two that I might be curious to check out would be maybe two action series. One by Ufotable, Kimetsu
I
no
see that one.
Yaiba.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm not really sold on any of the trailers or PVs, but just for maybe general hype, I guess, or general excitement, I'll see how that goes. And the other one is Fairy Gone by PA Works.
I was looking at that one too. It's
Mhm.
a original PA Works.
Yeah. So that's probably the
Director.
one thing that I might.
Oh,
be
yeah, that's right.
He
Interested
did
in No Name.
He did Drifters and Cells at Work.
Oh, yeah. Like, let's go.
Series director of Stardust Crusaders.
Even better.
Okay.
Alright, this is definitely on the watch list now.
Is this trailer widescreen?
Is it? That
Oh,
looks,
I
No,
haven't
no,
that feels
it's,
pretty...
it's,
oh,
it's,
okay.
the video
The video
like,
is wide.
The video thing is just really wide.
Yeah, it
but
just got
it's,
cut.
it's not widescreen. There's a
So
few
ever
shorts.
since
What's
I
up?
learned about No Name, the band, in that first...
Okay.
The first time I watched them, I think, was Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. I've just been, like, looking up all the anime that they're doing and watching their anime. just to hear their OPs and shit.
Nice.
I really like them in Sakura Quest. Their EG they did was really good.
Yes, they're extremely comfy there too.
I mean, watching anime based on the OP completely works because I watched the entirety of Haiku because of Imagination. So as far as I'm concerned, it works. Okay. Is Dodoro Dodoro is 24 episodes.
Doro?
Is it Dororo? Dororo.
Doro.
I thought it was
yes.
Dodoro.
Dodoro. Yes, it is a 24 episode, so we'll be continuing the season.
Okay. Wait, Promare?
What?
Promare? Hello?
Where is that? I don't see that anyway. Is
it's
that
all
a
the way in
movie?
the movies. I didn't even know Promare was a movie. The Trigger?
I was not aware. I
thought it was a
but-
TV show.
Yeah, I thought it was series as well. Interesting.
Okay, Promare releases in theaters in May 24.
That could be a really. It's a swing. It's definitely a swing by Trigger. I don't know whether it's gonna hit though, but people will
agree.
definitely check it out. Yeah.
Is this the one? Was Trigger the one who started a Patreon page?
Yes.
Was it Patreon?
Yes. They do they quote unquote say they do streams of like art, like character art and.
They have 3,000 Patreons and $8,000 a month already. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not enough to sustain a studio, but that's not terrible.
Yeah, well, it's interesting first.
By any means.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, anything else? There's an Ultraman special. There's the Thighs special, which I know that some people on my friend server are very excited about for reasons.
Were we interested in that bunny girl one? What's it called?
The movie?
I am interested in the show. I have not yet watched it though. So I am interested in the movie in theory. But
yeah, well, it's a sequel, which is interesting because I think sequel movies are always much more interesting than season 2s, maybe. Not sure.
I don't know. It depends on what you're adapting, I guess. The movie is adapting 6th and 7th volume, so.
Even Cabaneri Down Fortress is a.
The light novels are still releasing. I wish light novels could finish. I wish shows finished in general. That's how I feel about a lot of things in anime. Just to be honest. There's the sequel of Hibike Ufo.
Yeah, I saw that
Oh,
too.
that's a sequel?
Yes, it will tell the story of Kumiko and Squad as second-year students.
Finale.
Yeah, they named it Finale, so I don't know if this is like the end or not, but whatever. I remember only hearing about it because the director of Liz and the Bluebird.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for not remembering her name. Okay, the director of Liz and the Bluebird was saying that she needed to work a lot with the director of Hibike Ufo season 1, 2, and also this third movie because they wanted the handoff to be smooth between the two series.
Yeah.
Or the two movies.
That makes sense.
Feels bad.
I want to watch Senryu Shoujo. I didn't know it was just a TV short, but honestly, that might make it better.
I think, that fits that format.
Yeah, the
really
fact
well.
that it's a TV. Yeah, it's like a haiku in TV form. Anyway. Okay. I mean, I guess that's that, right? It looks like a pretty chill season. Like, I'm not super keen for anything now except for Carol and Tuesday.
Oh, Carol and Tuesday is coming on Netflix. Time to unfurl your sails.
We are the pirates who sail the seven seas. So let's talk about Crunchyroll price increase. 8 days ago, Crunchyroll price increase popped up on our anime with someone going, I just got an email saying increasing the prices to £650. For US viewers, it's going from $6.95 a month to $7.99 a month. I know for a lot of European viewers, it went from like $5 to $7.50 or something, or $6 to $7.50, something around there.
Is the change the same for worldwide, or is it like different for?
It's worldwide because if you just look it up, like if you Google it right now, someone's here is talking. Their Canadian dollars went from 20 to 23 for the 3 month. So It is a worldwide price increase,
Okay.
and a lot of people on Reddit are angry.
Yeah.
They don't like
I mean,
the Crunchyroll player. They rely on third-party extensions all the time. So
Mhm.
they're really pissed at the UI of the Crunchyroll website,
yeah.
and they're saying the price increase does not justify how bad the UI is.
I think people have always been complaining about Crunchyroll since the beginning of it, and you know, like even if it is a good product, like when prices go up, you know, people are always going to complain.
Mhm.
This is no
Especially
exception.
with the cheap people that us anime viewers are.
Hmm. Don't know how I feel about Crunchyroll though. As a service, I think a lot of people have a lot of problems with it. Just like in terms
Mhm.
of the usability and the functionality and just the subtitles. Like they don't even keep old anime kind of like properly like subtitled. You know, I think
Yeah, they don't.
it's a bit iffy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think technology wise, do they still use Adobe? I don't think they've even
I.
updated to like in terms of technology, they haven't updated their player to like
Oh yeah, they're
HTML5
not.
or
You
anything.
mean not HTML5? Yeah, yeah. I don't think
Yeah,
they
Mm.
are
so
using HTML5 yet.
there's a lot to want there too. And like if
Yeah.
they can fix those issues and like just get themselves to the updated technology, right? And that would really um, improve their product, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Improve the experience. And then I think that alone I think feels would make the price increase pretty worth it, I think.
I don't know. A lot. Let's see. A lot of people are just pissed at Crunchyroll. Of course, I don't know what I expected. It's Reddit. Everyone's angry all the time on Reddit.
Yeah,
I gotta chill out. Maybe give more gold to Kaguya and chill out.
that's right. Where is that now? It's like I think it's over 150 gold at least.
Let's find out. We're looking at 265 silver, 160 gold, 148 platinum.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh, damn. Didn't break the 150 yet for plats.
It's a work in progress. What I really want to lean into is the fact that Crunchyroll is doing a lot more produced shows. Right? So,
We got some examples of those shows.
I know Yuru Camp is one of the bigger ones, where if you watch Yuru Camp in the ED and the OP, you can actually see Crunchyroll, like their logo pop up.
Huh.
Some other ones, I believe, like I'm just looking here. I'm looking at a forum topic here. Anime co-produced / produced by Crunchyroll. So a lot of these are co-produced, but then there's some of them like A Place Further in the Universe producers, Kadokawa, Crunchyroll. Like that's it. That's all that's in. Stuff like that. A lot of these shows aren't particularly good though.
Yeah, they vary quite a bit.
Eurocamp though, like Eurocamp, I remember I was very surprised. I saw the Crunchyroll logo. I was like, what? What? I was confused. I wasn't ready.
They just seem to pick. To me, it just seems they're just grabbing as much as they can. Doesn't look like they're very particular about it. Like I'm seeing things like Kisniver and even Rising of Shield Hero, the Recovery of MMO Junkie. There's quite a lot of just diverse things in here.
I don't want to read too much into it, but I believe Rising of Shield Hero, Crunchyroll is the primary producer as well, over Kadokawa.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why they're listed first.
I believe that is true, but like, I mean, I don't have like official thingies or whatever. I guess Anime News Network would have it,
right? I'm not sure they keep
producer.
Well, no, they keep that information, but they don't keep like primary producer like or who contributed the most, right? I think that sort of information is generally confidential anyway.
Yeah, if you Google producer, it just gives you names.
Yeah.
I don't care about these people. I don't know. Do you think it's worth it, the price increase?
That's a very hard question to answer, considering I do not support Crunchyroll.
Fair enough. You got me there.
I guess, fair disclosure, I also do not financially support Crunchyroll.
I just wait until their shows stop being limited, and then I watch it later.
Pretty much. Yeah. See, now you know how cheap anime viewers are.
Maybe that's what Crunchyroll should have taken account of. I don't know. It's still cheaper than Netflix, right? I want to say that it's cheaper than Netflix. And
But is it better than Netflix?
Probably not.
No.
Because
Yeah.
Netflix plays incredibly well. Like, if they have anything on Crunchyroll, they at least play their shows very well. As in, you click the button and it plays.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, I have to load. I have to... There's stuff. There's an in-between step. But Netflix always works.
And it's not just anime as well.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that Netflix ad on Twitter? It was like a Netflix original anime. And by original anime, I mean like actually an original anime produced by Netflix, right?
Right.
And they were like boasting about how it's the first 3D animated anime.
Oh, I remember you ranted about this.
And they have Hoseki no Kuni on Netflix. I'm like 90% sure.
Thanks. I mean,
Yes, I remember your rant about this.
I guess they can go with the original and the produced. You're right. The 3D.
Oh, it's not on Netflix. Well, no, it is.
Oh.
Never mind. I'm not worried about it. Whatever, Netflix. I don't care. I don't know. I'm really angry with Netflix because of just how they are doing their stuff. Like, how they release their shows. Violet Evergarden, for some reason, it released every single episode, like, every week. In some countries, like in Canada, they release it every single week. But in America, they waited until it's all done to pop it all on there.
Yes.
But I am highly appreciative of the fact that it has Violet Evergarden, because I can recommend people to watch Violet Evergarden if they don't have Crunchyroll and they just want to watch stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There is a thread on Reddit 3 days ago. I'm gonna keep calling it Ufotable. And
Yeah,
someone's
go
gonna
ahead.
get mad at me. Ufotable animation studio accused of tax evasion fraud. Bunshin.jp. Like, it's direct to the Japanese
The Japanese website.
news site, yeah.
Oh wow.
So someone here reads Japanese and then translated the most important part, the title.
I mean, this reminds me of a couple of years back now, I think, when, what was that? I forgot what it was.
Was Gainax one?
I think Gainax was also accused at one point of tax evasion.
What? How did that play out?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the conclusion.
This is in 1998.
Oh,
I'm
then
3 years old. There's
never
no way I would
mind.
ever learn about this.
But the database anime, living in the
Log Horizon.
database. There we go.
Log
Yes, the
Horizon.
author of Log Horizon.
Base.
The author of Log Horizon was similarly, or actually no, he wasn't just accused. He was actually convicted of tax evasion.
Wow. I mean, it says here that report alleges that portions of income from certain stores was not transferred to the company bank account, but taken directly by the president in bundles of cash.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Yeah,
quite
it's,
the accusation there.
That's the phrasing is hilarious to me. It's like
Bundles of
walking
cash.
around with like a sack of cash, like a bag that has a $sign drawn on it.
It's apparently reported, let's see, one aspect of the investigation deals with the sale of merchandise. Yeah. Maybe that's not the only part of the accusation.
I'm not
Okay, well,
sure. All
this-
of the information I find, or every website that I find, just tells me that it's a tax, like they got accused of tax evasion. They're not giving me any details on it, so maybe this is something we should look into after they've decided whether or not they're guilty. But that may take a while.
Yeah,
I'm
these
assuming-
things normally take like easily a year or so,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
more.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming Japan law operates at the same speed American law, which is incredibly slow.
Yeah, big
Indeed.
companies, lots of paperwork.
Mhm.
I can't even get anything out of this Reddit thread. Like, usually there's like reasonable comments, but every single comment is just a fate joke.
I remember reading somewhere that I don't remember where, but I remember reading somewhere that oftentimes anime studios just like throw their cash in a bank and forget about it.
Yeah,
And so that's why they often get accused of like tax evasion. So a lot
it
of
makes
times it's
sense because
inadvertent.
anime studios in general don't make much money,
That's
right?
true.
So they probably don't have sufficient, for example, just like financial
Accounting
advisors
and
or
yeah.
accounters, yeah.
Mhm.
So then once they suddenly start making money, cough cough, making a Heaven's Feel movie, cough cough, then they don't know what to do with it. So that may be what happened. They don't know what to do with it, and then
Mhm.
and henceforth they got the bags with the yen symbol drawn on it, and they just threw it inside the bank.
I don't know, withdrawing a bunch of cash, bundles of cash seems much more suspicious though. So
That's true. That might be done with intent. You can only walk around with a bag with the yen symbol drawn on it if you are
I mean,
intending to
I
be a supervillain,
I have
right?
no idea about the source, but it just says here 3 days ago, Otaku magazine. So I'm not
okay.
first thing that came up. Very grain of salt.
Developing story. We'll get back to it.
Indeed.
Keep you posted.
Keep you posted. That's right. So, Gabe, talk to me about Sword and the Stranger.
Okay.
Sword of the Stranger.
So
Or
Sword of the
Dororo.
Stranger.
Or Mob Psycho the Second.
Okay, so Dororo and Mob Psycho are airing this season, and Dororo is actually a two-core, so it'll be continuing on. Let's just dive straight into it. So they're all I think they all have a common theme of excess of ambition, right?
Okay.
Where you have one person who's world domination, or I want to be a very powerful dude, right? And you see his actions kind of taking its toll on the common people, I suppose, right?
Mhm.
In Dororo, for example, the daimyo makes a deal with demons
Yep.
Mhm.
in order to have his land prosper, I suppose, right? And
Yep.
so the demons, in exchange for his power and his land prospering, he has to give up his firstborn child, and his firstborn child ends up having his eyes, skin, nose, his face, like all of that's taken away. So he's just like a body, a torso, in fact.
That's a bit heavy, but okay.
Right? But the kid survives somehow, and he gets like prosthetic arms and all that crap, and he ends up starting to kill demons in order to regain his body parts, right? But
Okay. So it's Full Metal Alchemist.
I'd say it's a little
sure.
I'd say it's a little more interesting actually, because if you think about the premise,
Yeah.
as each body part he gets back, he's not accustomed to living with that body part, so he'll technically be weaker every time he regains or defeats a demon as he gets closer to his goal of recovering his humanity. So
Yeah, they actually do cover that. Like when he regains his leg, that's pretty simple. Like he worked with a prosthetic, so having a actual limb is better. But one time he regains hearing, right? And he's not used to hearing stuff, so
he's never heard
everything
anything
seems
before.
really
so-
loud to him, and he's very confused all the time
Yeah.
for a long time, right? So that is a thing that happens to him. Um, he regains a body part or a sense, right? And he figures out how to adapt to it over a period of time. What I was getting at though is that because of the daimyo's deal with the devil, right?
Mhm.
It ends up bringing the rise of these demons, right? And even though his own land is prospering, the lands around him are much more chaotic because these demons are ruling over the people now, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it's power at the excess of other people, right? Similarly, in Mob Psycho, the main antagonist right now, he's a Esper, and he has apparently he's the most powerful Esper in the world. And because he thinks he's the most powerful Esper in the world, he believes he should be like ruler of the world,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty direct parallel there, I suppose, right? Very excessive power. And then finally, in Sword of the Stranger, the premise of that is that they are Chinese agents, right? Who are trying to find a kid who ran away from them, and that kid is supposed to be used in a ritual to. Well, actually, I suppose spoilers, by the way. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But anyways, the kid is supposed to be sacrificed in order to create an immortality potion for the Emperor of China.
So it's the
Right.
same kind of deal.
Yeah, right. So all of these anime have that same excess of power at the expense of some commoner or some lower person, right? I
Yeah.
shouldn't say lower person, actually.
Lower person. That was a random rip on someone.
At the expense of the peasantry, yes.
Okay.
And an
deal.
insignificant person, we'll just say that. Or community.
Okay. I'll buy
Right.
into it.
Right.
Sure.
But I'm sure this isn't just for these three. It's a very, if we look at
common
any other
theme.
anime, it's a very common theme. Like not even
Yeah.
just anime. It's a common theme
Like,
for
in
humanity,
real
I
life.
guess. IRL,
And yeah, it's a very common theme in real life.
because IRL is an anime.
It wouldn't work the other way, right? You couldn't have commoners or the poor people having an excess of ambition. Would it? Is there any examples of this in media?
Isn't that Naruto?
No.
The commoner has an excess of ambition.
Well, no, because it's not just commoners that have, like, or rather, it's not just.
He has to exploit something. Don't forget.
Okay,
That's true, yeah.
So
the
Naruto
point.
Yeah, it's-
kind of works
it's
his
not-
way
yeah,
up,
you don't
so it's
have
not
to-
quite
you
the
don't have
same.
He
to
does it
be-
legit.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be like a nobleman or a rich dude to be able to have excess of ambition. Like you just gotta exploit something in society, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So it's related
But
to
I
the
think-
power level,
yeah.
you could say.
Mhm. But I don't know about in media, but like populism is a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want this to become a government podcast.
Government in anime. Yeah, there we go.
Alright, guys, today
feel
we're
like
going to
that's a
talk
thing.
about Donald Trump in anime.
He is an anime though.
He is an anime. I have mixed feelings about that. I feel like it's not common in media because it makes a bad super villain, right? If you're a commoner that is evil and abuses the system, just like the fact that you're a commoner makes you more relatable.
Mhm.
And in general, like like a straightforward series that wants to become an action series or something like that, they don't want their villain to be relatable, or if they do, they want it to be relatable after they've been slain, right?
Mhm.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I think some of the best villains are relatable from the very get-go, or at least you have some kind of understanding throughout the story of what they're doing.
I mean, I think that's true, but what I'm saying is, in an action show, I don't think that they prioritize that.
Mhm.
I guess in general anime media they might not, because I'd say they leave it as a plot twist. One of the best things would be like Sasuke's brother, right?
Yeah.
You see him as a bad guy the whole time, and then one episode, the special episode, they reveal everything. So yeah,
The
think you're
backstory
right.
episode.
yeah.
I mean, I also think it's just not relatable in general because you don't want to relate with a bad guy the whole time and just be like, "Am I the baddie?"
Well, I don't think you have to relate completely, but relate in a way that you can understand. I think they make the best villains.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the understanding is what you're looking for. It's not so much I want to be this person, it's so much I understand why this person did what he did.
Yeah, if a villain is just completely evil for the sake of being evil, they're very forgetful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd like to posit, by the way, that Dororo
Dororo.
Yeah.
Dororo is a adaptation from 1967.
That's correct.
Yep.
Very old.
Old roots.
It looks like Astro Boy when you look at the cover.
It's amazing that their opening has some of that old animation, old style of, like references
I
to
haven't
that.
watched any of it, so I can't even tell
Yeah. I mean, actually, I don't know where I was going with that. That's pretty much it.
you.
Well, let's follow it a bit more. So, like, if we notice this pattern, is it similar to anything else that we've seen recently?
I'm unfortunately just thinking of slime. And Slime is like the polar opposite of that. Every single villain in Slime ends up becoming a good guy. Like, Slime is the quintessential, I'm an overpowered character, I beat you up, and now you're my friend, right? It's the Naruto experience, except, like, truncated and less focused on... Well, I guess it might be even more focused on the characters rather than the action, right? Because I don't think Slime does action very well.
I mean, the fights are so one-sided, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, every fight is always between those, like, one is a superior force by a large margin.
Yeah, there's a very formulaic thing to
And
that.
also, every single fight ends with, like, Rimuru just eating everything. That's the entire show!
What a fatty.
Yeah.
And that's not, like, that's very different than the excess of ambition. Other than, it might be a thing, right? But it's not gonna be anytime soon. They hint about, like, 3 potential villains right at the end of the show. Which is really annoying, by the way.
I mean, Slime to me is really the opposite. It's like total lack of ambition on Rimuru.
Every single villain is like, not even just Rimuru, like, every single villain is like, I was doing this because I was forced to in order to save my people.
Yeah. So.
Or they get killed outright.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really the opposite, I think, in Slime. Rimuru's almost total lack of ambition. Everything is really just thrust onto him rather than him wanting to do it.
This is true. Well, he did take Shizu's thing, which apparently is going to make him butt heads with, like, the hero. But setting that aside.
Yes.
And he's the protagonist, though, really. He's not an antagonist, so...
Like, all the antagonists in Slime, I'm thinking of the Orc Lord. The Orc Lord just... I needed to become an Orc Lord so that way I could feed my people. Like, that's pretty good. I can't stop that.
I mean, he was dying, right? And then that clown guy, kind of
and he was
gave
given
him no
power
choice.
so that way he could.
Yeah.
Because the guy wanted him to become a demon lord.
Yeah.
But what he really wanted to do was, I want to feed my people.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one? The direwolf just gets killed outright.
Yeah.
The goblins aren't bad at all. They're all good guys. I don't know. Who are the villains in Slime? There's no villains in Slime, are there?
I mean, as right now, there's really no villains. Everyone's a good guy at heart, except for that Gilman dude.
Gilman's weird. I don't want to talk about it.
I guess in the direwolf dad too.
But he got killed outright, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, he probably had some good motivations. He just dies anyway. No mercy.
The motivations we know is he wants to eat the goblins.
I mean, he could have been oppressed by Veldora for a long time, except that just wasn't shown. No, he's getting his dues, but then Rimuru just goes. Yeah, exactly. No
You're
mercy.
Right. Now he's dead.
No mercy. He doesn't even try to probe his motivations there.
That's the only one, right? That's the only villain he doesn't like. He doesn't like afterwards sit in the therapist chair. How does this make you feel?
Yeah, he just outright kills him.
You've become a part of me. How does this make you feel?
Can you even see that as a villain, though? Because, like, if you think about it from their point of view, that's a creature in its natural environment, right? In this world.
That's true.
Yeah.
So is it?
So he's not even a real villain. Like I said, he probably had some motivations for doing so.
That's like the point of the show, right? All the monsters are just, to the humans at least, all the monsters are just creatures, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just monsters. Literally just. That's why the clown guys just go around like, I'm gonna make a freaking Orc Lord because why not? Because they're just monsters anyway.
Mm.
And then what Rimuru does is he gives them humanity by naming them and giving them jobs. Wow.
I feel like there's an irony there.
Slime is an allegory. Slime is
I told you.
an allegory.
I told you. But
Metaphor's too deep. But that, I mean, that's completely irrelevant to our Sword and the Stranger thing you were talking about. I keep saying Sword and the Stranger. Sword of the Stranger. Yes.
I guess there's an irony there, actually, right? In that, in your excess of power, you become less human, right? But Slime makes all the monsters more human due to his complete lack of ambition. Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. That's actually
it's like the ideal democracy, right? He got voted as president, and he doesn't want to be president.
I feel like that's a thing, actually. That's just a thing. All of our leaders, people who deserve to be leaders, do not want to be leaders.
Yeah, the only good president we had was George Washington because he didn't want to do it. Okay, Shin, talk to me about Isekai, since we're talking about slime anyway.
We've been watching Slime. How many episodes was that? 24 episodes?
Yeah,
24 and a
24.
half.
Yeah.
Do you really count that half? It was literally completely a recap. In fact, if
Yes,
we go
but,
like that,
like,
then like
look.
That's
Like
true.
half of the show is a recap.
yeah, so 20% of the show at least is a recap.
Do you think it's a popular anime?
Slime?
I think what last
It
season?
is most
Yeah.
definitely a popular
I
anime.
think it is, yes.
I think it's interesting that like that's literally an isekai, but we still want more isekai, even though we still hate on it.
Excuse me, you can speak for
Slime
yourself.
is not a bad show.
Oh,
I'm not a
definitely not.
bad
I'm not saying
slime.
that either. But I think it's interesting that isekai feels like the superhero genre of like
Mhm.
the anime. Like it feels like everyone's
I see
like,
what you're
oh,
saying.
isekai. We're so sick of it. Like ever since what's the first isekai like that really started everything? At least lately.
Some
What
would
it be?
argue that SAO was the one to start this trend.
So SAO was the first one that was popular enough to start a trend. I want to say
Yeah.
Dot Hack is the first one that was popular.
I suppose, yes.
Transported to another world.
What I think is interesting about Isekai is it's basically just a normal fantasy anime with a different framework.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you're doing something where you have to get out, which is actually SAO, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between anime where you get thrust into a fantasy world and an anime where you start as a fantasy world is the amount of exposition needed in episode 1.
Because I think I never thought about a Sao as being a Sword Art Online as being an isekai, even though it meets the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
I see Log Horizon very clearly as an isekai, and I see Grimgar: A Fantasy of Anash as a isekai.
Right.
But then when I think about Sword Art Online, it's like, would you call Recovery of an MMO Junkie an isekai because they're playing on their computers
Well, I see what you're saying.
and you
I
see
see
the
what you're
game
saying, yeah,
world,
I
you
see.
know? Yeah, because isekai means traveled to another world or being transported to another world.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. I hit my mic.
Yeah, in SAO, there's not really a foreign nature to it, I guess. Right? They know the world itself. They know it's a video game, so it's very familiar to them, I suppose, right? But like in an isekai, there are definitely foreign elements to the main character, and they may or may not have to spend time acclimating to that. Wait, no, SAO is still the same in that regard then.
Yeah, so that's why maybe that's why it's so secretly brilliant.
The difference with SAO is he's not stuck in it, is he?
Well, he is because
He is.
there's no
He
logout
was,
button,
rather.
right? That's the whole meme.
Yeah, but like that's the plot. The plot is he gets out. All the other isekai tend to produce plots where they try to accustom themselves to the world.
See, that's where the meta's changing now because originally I
Yeah.
see you guys say Sword Art Online and even Dot Hack. Those are kind of like game genre animes. I see like ReZero as like the most recent kind of surge of isekai. There might be some before
ReZero.
that I might not think about, but ReZero was the one that really popularized it. And that was like the meta, you know, that was like we have this protagonist who's so accepting of it, you know, he's trying to like shoot magic spells out of his hand already, you know, on day one. And even though he's on that level of meta, he still can't figure out the power. But it's interesting to see that stage and where we are now. If you look at Slime as, I guess, or even Shield Hero as the most recent isekai.
Yeah, I guess the difference is whether or not you want to stay in the world, right?
Mm.
Plus, there's that other factor of they switched from logging on and not being able to log off to I died and now I'm here.
Is it?
Right? Because Sao and Log Horizon were suddenly inside the game world, as if they were logged on, and then you can't get out. Whereas with Slime and Konosuba and ReZero, they die and then they pop up in the other world. So there's a difference in entering the world. Unless I'm missing isekais. I might be. I don't watch many of them.
I feel like the definition's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much just being transported into another world. I don't think, you know, whether they want to leave it, whether they want to stay in it, their goals is part of the isekai genre, not how it's defined, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to note how the meta has changed for that over the last couple of years. Like Sword Art Online is like the straight blanket, you know, like video game kind of. It's very generic in that regards. And then along the way, we've had kind of, you know, similar series to that with, you know, little twists here and there.
Log Horizon, Grimgar.
Yeah. Now we have like Rising of Shield Hero, which I don't think it's as popular. Well, it's hard to say. I think it is. Well, it seems to be popular on Crunchyroll at least.
Yeah.
I think Crunchyroll's pushing it real hard.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, does it still remains somewhat popular though? I think, at least from what I've heard, a lot of people seem to be watching it.
I think Shield Hero just happens to be a reaction to previous isekais, because a lot of previous isekais, at least before it, have the happy-go-lucky MC.
Yeah, they don't take the premise seriously.
Yeah, but in Shield Hero, we have the first, or not the first, I think, but like the most notable early edgy MC who gets crapped on in the beginning and then has to deal with the consequences of being crapped on for actually pretty much his entire life now.
I want to say ReZero is similar to that then, because if you think about it, he gets killed pretty quickly.
That's true.
And he has to die over and over and
it's
over.
It's a tone difference, right? Is Shield Hero making silly jokes all the time? In the same way that Subaru is making silly jokes all the time?
No, not quite. It seems to be a bit more kind of flat out with that tone.
Shield Hero, I think, has a more like resigned tone.
Yeah. Whereas even in ReZero, where Subaru gets dunked on all the time, there's only really one arc, the one arc where he's like
down.
He's a douchebag to Emilia.
Yeah.
The one bad arc, right? So that arc is the only one which is just all sad the entire time. Most of the time, he's happy-go-lucky, despite the fact that he dies all the time.
Yeah, and you can argue that's part of the development. Yeah, I feel like Shield Hero is actually... It doesn't feel that good. It feels like they had a really nice idea. In terms of the adaptation, it seems to fall flat. It's like nothing new to the genre. It's like there's a hint of what happens if everything could go wrong for the person that got transported to this world, and everyone is just against him. He has nothing. Right. Yeah, exactly. So I think that aspect is interesting, but then it seems to fall flat on a lot of other things, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. We also forgot Overlord.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's another meta twist, right?
Yeah.
Instead of you having to fight, like, what is it really? Like, yeah, he's kind of like...
The plot twist is he's the villain.
He's the villain, and he's already all-powerful.
Yeah, it's... Now that I think about it, it's a little bit similar to Slime, because he's controlling, like, monsters and creatures in his way, but it's, like, technically his NPCs from the guild or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the third season, though.
There's a third season?
Oh,
yes.
Yes, there is.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know there was a third season.
There's more Isekai.
And it came out already last year? My bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a dying genre, if anything. It's growing and growing.
Yes.
I was wondering why there was so much albedo art in the last Comic Cat. And there's freaking 3 seasons of Overlord. Okay, I guess fair enough.
Yes, that is very similar to Slime. It's not really about
action.
Space.
It's not action.
Yeah, it's not action, and it's not really about the main character either. It's about the people. Yeah, there is. Holy crap! They're the same anime.
It's the same anime, except one's
a slime, one's a skeleton.
One of them is very spooky, and the other one is not a bad slime.
Now the question is, what next? If this meta keeps continuing, and we're going to presume it's not going to die, where does it go next?
This is one of the most interesting things to me, is that Sword Art Online came out, was a big thing, and then almost immediately they did like twists. Very swiftly, starting from like Sword Art Online, they suddenly started going like, okay, now we have to do one where it becomes a city building sim, like, or one where the main character is going to be like Log Horizon, where one of the main characters is going to be a support class, or one where the main character is now the villain. Like, really quickly, they iterated on this concept super fast.
I don't think the anime industry did that. I think the manga and light novel industry did that. And anime
this is true.
Took whoever rose to the top.
It's much easier to ite in manga because there's just so much coming out all the time.
The groundwork's been laid already. So, like, by that nature, that means we're looking at things like I've seen some really, really obscure, weird titles. Like, I'm trying to remember what it is. Like I thought the slime thing was obscure. Like, I've heard some weirder things. Like, I've some titles that are like, I've been transformed into like a toilet in another world, or like a cell phone or something. Like, what?
Yeah, in another world with my smartphone. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really weird stuff.
That actually did get adapted into an anime.
In another world with my... I remember seeing ads for it and then going, really? It's kind of how I feel about it.
It's getting crazy.
But yeah, like for isekai, anime just skims off the top of mangas and light novels.
Very true.
That's true. But like, now I'm trying to decide, like, what's the difference between an isekai and a fantasy anime, other than the episode 1?
transport it to another world. Really, that's it.
Yeah, but like, what does that?
It's the foreign
What
the
does that
foreign nature
change?
of it. I think is definitely a thing, right? Because in fantasy, the main character is part of that world, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He is a native of that world, so he knows
Yep.
all the customs, and the world's not explained to you through the main character. It's explained through some narrator or something like that, right? It's explained through some other element, right? But in an isekai,
They get explained to the main character because
yeah,
he
they
doesn't
get
know
to
anything.
explain, yeah, because he doesn't know anything, and that's typically through some analysis skill or something like that, or the
It's
god.
a very convenient plot point.
Yeah,
I'd like
exactly.
to say that
Hmm.
at the very least.
Mhm.
Other than that, essentially what I'm trying to say is episode 1, the difference is how the world is explained. But then episode 2, we just get into the plot of the show. So what is the difference?
I think also in fantasy, the world also has a reaction to the main character, right?
Yep, to the main character entering that world.
And in isekai, the world's not only foreign to him, he is foreign to the world. So they view the main character as an anomaly, right? And so a lot of it is the reaction to the main character.
Yep.
Whereas in typical fantasies, the main character is more accounted for, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right? He's not like he's not a random
He's
element in it.
expected, like,
He's
in a way.
expected, yes.
Okay. I guess the ultimate example for that is Recreators, right? Where
That's the
imagine
reverse
if
isekai, yeah.
it's a reverse isekai, right? So
Mhm.
if otherworlders came to our world, I guess it would be different than if there was a threat from our world on our world, right?
Mhm. Yes.
It's a different kind of.
I think I'd classify that as just fantasy and like action or
Expectation.
battle royale kind of type thing. I'd say that's similar to like Fate, where you're like summoning people to fight, and then there's a huge like fight between lots of
That's
different
true.
factions.
Oh
so-
god, Fate is a battle royale. I didn't realize. You got anything else?
For some reason, my mind went to some sci-fi anime, like Alno Zero, and how
Yep, I
like
remember that one.
that in relation to this isekai genre, by the way, right? Or contrasting the isekai genre, right? The world is set up and explained already, and the characters participate in it.
Code
Where
Geass.
am I going
Yep.
with this? And so they're very familiar with the mechanics of the world. I think I just wanted to bring up those as an example of not an isekai,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense though.
because those worlds, even though they're foreign to us, the audience, they're
It's not to the character.
not to the characters, right? They understand what's going on already in the world.
Yeah, whether they're at the very bottom or the outside or some kind of outlier, they have a place in that society or that world.
Yes.
So they have a bearing of some kind. Whereas in an
Yes.
isekai, they normally, sometimes they might, depending on the meta, right? But for the most part, they do have to learn the mechanics of this new world, and that aligns with their goal. You know, sometimes they don't want to go back. Sometimes they do. Most of the time, originally, it just was like you enter another world and you want to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like a journey, except it's not really. Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to mention really quickly, there is a anime short coming out next season called Isekai Quartet,
Yes.
where we get it's the biggest crossover in crossover history.
The world's most
Where
ambitious
it's just basically
crossover.
Overlord, Konosuba, ReZero, and for some reason...
Ah, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Saga of Tanya the Evil Witch.
Yeah, Tanya of Evil?
Yeah.
Mhm. That was actually quite popular back in the day.
Is that an isekai?
It is.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
a
I
guy.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Because it is
That
a
gets-
very, what's the word for it?
Yojo Senshi.
I mean, he's basically a douche salaryman guy.
Yeah, it's by the book.
Yeah, he gets killed and reincarnated as a little girl.
By the book.
And therefore wants to control the world?
Well, it was because of his previous ambition in the old world.
Oh, so he's a douche, and then he carried over his douchiness.
Correct.
Yeah. The god that like sent him to the other world was like, you're a dickhead, and now I'm gonna give you like a really shit life.
Yes,
he's like,
but he
"No."
ends up through pure
willpower.
determination and ambition, saying, fuck you, God. I'm going to
Yeah,
be the
no,
ruler
you-
of this world.
Pretty much.
That's intense.
Yes.
So is this like the Avengers of Isekai now?
Yeah, it's the most ambitious crossover event, except it's also a comedy. Watching this PV right now, it looks really dumb.
It's just chibis, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, they're all
chibis. Because
chibis.
it's the same studio that does all those
like
Overlord.
OVA special, yeah.
Yeah, the just the fun little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Overlord. There's a Tanya one. What else is there? Yeah, they do a bunch of these. Kaiju
Oh, did
Girls.
they do? Did they do?
There's a ReZero Break Time, if you remember that thing.
Did they do the what the hell's it called? Attack on Titan High School?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, never mind then.
It had a little bit more budget. More. I haven't seen it, but I've seen snippets here and there. Like it looked like it had a bit of budget.
Did anyone watch Attack on Titan High School? That was 4 years ago now? Wow.
No, I did not.
I did not.
It's not even high school, it's junior high. It's less than high school.
Excuse me.
It was produced by Production IG.
Oh, really?
They gotta do it themselves.
They just used the leftover money they had from Attack on Titan and made that.
Why not?
Come on, Production IG. By the way, Production IG, when are we getting season 4 of IQ? Thank you. Let me know. I'll be ready.
Probably after they finish season 3 of Attack on Titan.
Season 3 part 2. That's the worst
Correct.
part. Well, I don't know why you're gonna call it season 3. It's just gonna call it season 3 if it's just a part 2. Like, why do they have to put the part 2?
Yeah, they should have just called it season 4, honestly.
Yeah, I thought that season 3 was supposed to be a 2-core, right? And then
So,
when I got to
yeah.
the end, they do that, and I'm just like, where's my next episode?
It feels bad. It
What?
feels very bad.
It's my turn. What do I want to talk about? Crap. Dang it. I mean, I feel like I talked about everything I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Your Crunchyroll price increase, your
tax.
tax.
I was really curious about that Crunchyroll price increase.
Well, you don't use Crunchyroll though.
I do use Crunchyroll.
Oh, you
I
do
just,
use Crunchyroll. Okay.
I do
Do you
use
pay for
Crunchyroll.
it?
I just don't pay for it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Wow. I see.
I mean,
I see how it
when
is.
I am not selling the 7 Cs, I do use Crunchyroll, yes.
Can't believe you just admitted it to then perish.
What have we watched collectively this season?
It seems like
Yes, Slime.
it seems to be the only show that we've all seen.
Well, yeah, okay, but like, what have you
Sasugari
watched?
Miru-sama.
Sapsuga Gaberu.
God, that guy was annoying. Oh,
Every single character in Slime falls under the criteria of lovable dork,
Correct.
or just irreconcilable douchebag. There's no in
No,
between.
there hasn't been an irreconcilable douchebag yet.
No, there has. They just become lovable dorks.
yeah.
Yes, everyone has reconciled at some point.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting way to show progression, right? That's no better way to keep pacing quick, you know? Have all these stories and have these characters develop extremely quickly over like an episode or two.
Yes.
They do like an arc, which takes like 4 episodes, and then there's like a time skip, and then there's another arc, which takes like 4 episodes.
I want to say it's less than 4 episodes. They do it really quickly.
I mean, I think the Charybdis, that was like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it depends on what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Charybdis was 2 episodes, right? They introduced Charybdis in 1 episode, and then the next episode, Milum just goes, "Hello, get dunked on."
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the pacing is one of the best things about that show. How quickly it just goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree. The pacing is good. I was gonna argue against you, but no, I agree. I like the pacing of the show, but I don't like the arcs. A lot of the arcs aren't satisfying.
I'm not sure, but I feel like it might have sacrificed some of the plot points in the arcs. Like, Charybdis
Oh, yeah.
especially, right? Well, I have no basis for what the manga / light novel pasted as, but I feel like they might have compressed that a lot and probably was more significant in the light novel.
All I can say is that each episode, if you just watch it by itself, there's a goal and there's a certain task and it gets accomplished. At least some of that goal. Like certain kind of tasks get accomplished in each episode.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really feel like a whole grand scheme unless maybe the war between the orcs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then each episode they covered something very quickly, or a character had a kind of story in that episode.
That's very true, actually. Every arc you kind of knew, like, problem introduction.
Yeah.
Solving the problem.
Solve it.
Problem
Yeah.
solved. You very definitely knew what the problem was and how they were solving it.
Mm-hmm.
Slime is such a carefree show to me. It's like, even more so than just a lot of slice of life. It's a different kind of carefree than like Isekai carefree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isekai carefree feels like it's carefree because conflicts or tension is solved in the space of 5 minutes, right?
Should you define Isekai?
Isekai healing, translation to healing, stuff like Flying Witch, K-On, stuff like that, where the tension, the tension is there, but it's unimportant because none of the characters care about it either.
Mm.
Whereas in Slime, the characters do care about it, but I am never under the impression that they won't be able to handle it.
Because of the main character. He doesn't technically
Yes.
feel anything because he's a slime. So he's and technically, he can't feel pain.
The characters under him, though, also are never in doubt that their leader will prevail, right? So even
they get
their
worried,
own tension,
sure, but yeah.
they get worried, yeah, but like even their own tension, they don't ever believe for a moment that he's gonna fail.
Yeah, but neither do we because of that, I think.
Yeah, and we know that too, yes. Right, there's a lot of that Kurt was saying, there's no tension, because both we and the underlings really know that there's no way they can't solve it.
And that's
It's
what
just the journey there.
separates it from the Isekai kind of feeling. Well, at least my Isekai kind of feeling. When I watch like Flying Witch or K-On, I don't feel the tension because the characters don't care about the tension. In Slime, the characters care about the tension, but they're not worried, so I don't feel the tension. Like even in that entire arc with the kids,
yeah,
like that was the one that had the most dramatic tension at all because they know the solution, but they didn't know how to go about completing it until they randomly got that hint on how to get to the fairy world.
Actually, I feel like the kids, I feel like almost didn't care either way, because I guess narratively, they were accepting of their fate, right? Yep. And then when Rimuru comes along, they're just like, oh, okay, maybe we can live. But like, even if he doesn't, it's okay. We had a good time with you, Rimuru.
Anime trending. Where is this guy getting his resources? Or his sources? He's talking about the most anticipated spring anime? But where is this source coming?
One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, Bungo Stray Dogs.
Okay, here's his list. 1. One Punch Man Season 2. 2.
Easy.
Attack on Titan.
Easy.
2019. Instead of putting Season 3 Part 2, he just put 2019. I like that.
That's the big brain move. Yeah, nice.
we'll just put it a year on it, just like Apple does with their iPads. You just go, oh, what iPad do you have? I have the 2017 iPad. Isekai Quartet number 3. Really?
Wow.
Where is this coming from? Where's this?
Yeah, nah.
resource?
Disagree.
I think it's just a bunch of block voting to screw with the viewers, the people paying attention.
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. The third has to be like either Fruit Basket or Bungo Stray Dogs, or even any of the new.
They actually put
originals.
Demon Slayer's number 4 here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Demon Slayer's just a notable number 4.
Because it's Ufotable, like that's it.
Yeah.
That they're gonna.
I mean, just everything that Ufotable does.
And then we have Bungo Stray Dogs.
Wow.
And then we have Fruits Basket 2019.
Yeah,
that guy wants to fight, huh?
We Never Learn, Fairy Gone, Carol on Tuesday, Kenja no Mago. What is this?
Sounds like a shitty isekai.
It does. That's why I'm looking it up.
Oh, it is another isekai. Oh, yeah, he turns into a baby, right? Yeah, so it's an isekai where he turns into a baby. And his name is Shin.
There's actually no difference between this and a normal fantasy anime.
No, but the thing is, he's got a big brain in the body of a baby, right? He must have kept all his memories.
He has past life memories is all.
Yeah.
I don't like this anime or this manga because I clicked on the manga and analyst, and the manga cover art, right, has him like really small on the left, but then the girl with the big boobs is like really big on the right.
Obviously, the author knows his priorities.
So that's how you know it's not gonna be good. So I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be good.
Also, with Slime, did we notice that every time he when he names a monster, the monster just turns more human looking?
Yes.
Did you guys notice that?
No, there's one non-example, which is Gabaru.
Yes.
No, but then
I feel like that's
he
because
he
he was
names his
previously named, though.
yeah. Whereas if you look to the sister, right?
Yeah, the sister becomes more human looking.
Yeah,
Actually, Gabiru's henchmen also became like Gabiru, though.
yeah.
Although we never actually learned their names.
Like, but for the most part, it's like instead of just looking stronger, they just turn more human looking. It's like that's how you get stronger.
Becoming a human.
Pretty
Humans
much.
OP.
The master race.
It's different, right? Because when the Orc Lord gets named, like the Orc Lord and the Orc, both of them get named, but the Orc Lord becomes more monstrous looking, whereas the Orc King, Geld, becomes more human-like. And I think the difference is the intent of the namer. It seems to be.
Oh.
Then why would Gabiru not become more human-like, though?
I mean, he seems pretty happy being a dragon newt.
What about the demon people or whatever then? Ogre demon people.
Oh, it's he didn't become more human-like because he was named before.
Well, either way, I want to say for the most part, most of the creatures that bands together with just turn more human after getting named.
Well, that comes back to what I was talking about earlier. The slime gives them humanity.
Yeah, that's why I thought that was an interesting choice of word to use.
I'm very excited for season 2. Do we know when it's coming out?
I think next year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good turnaround.
I know it is good turnaround, but at the same time, what do I live for now? I guess I have to watch other shows.
Yeah, dude. Like, actually better shows.
Like, what have you watched that has had a second season in that year? I don't think there's any show that's done that before.
Oh yeah, only shows where they're planning on doing the 2 seasons already.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I just want, like, Slime is such a casual watch. I don't need to engage in any way. Like, I don't need to mentally, like, I'm in when I watch Slime. I just get to, like, lean back and watch Slime.
And just,
so,
yeah.
like, I want more Slime. Souls at Work is whatever. I don't get. My feeling about Souls at Work is very confused. Because I don't, like, it was entertaining to watch in the same way that it is entertaining to watch educational YouTube videos. Right? It feels like I'm watching something from, like, Hank Green. Except it's animated by David Production.
Yes.
No.
I mean, judging it as an artistic work, it is not
garbage.
a good artistic work.
There's no character continuity. Well, that's a lie. There's more character continuity than Ume Musume, but that's not hard to do. I don't know. I enjoyed it. But I feel like I have to rate it like a 4 or like a 5.
Wow, 4 down. That really hurt.
I think I gave it a 7, so I'll just leave it at 7. Maybe a 6. Oh, I rated it a 5. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I feel like you just shouldn't rate shows like that as an artistic work. I mean, they're not even pretending to try and be an artistic work anyway. So,
what would you rate it then? Like a documentary?
I mean, at that point, I would just rate it on entertainment value.
If I do that though, like, all of my stuff gets inconsistent. All my rating starts getting inconsistent.
I mean, to be fair, I don't rate anything unless it's 10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
That's all he does. No, that's seriously what it does. If you go to his everything is not rated or a 10.
Oh wait, excuse me. Never mind. I rated Hibiki Euphonium as a 9.
Interesting.
Okay.
I feel like, what's the point of having a rating then?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
There really isn't. It's just when I am so odd on it, I rate it. Except for Hibiki Euphonium. I was on it, right? But like, when I was comparing it to Rakugo, I'm just like, it's not fair. I can't do this. So I just give it a 9.
Oh wow.
I like the idea that you were like, oh, Hibiki Euphonium is very similar to Rakugo, but it's just not as good.
I mean, that was almost my exact thoughts.
He's learning how to use a rating system.
He's learned to use the number 9. Oh my gosh.
Actually, we both watched Slime 24 episodes over the course of a single week.
25 episodes.
That last one doesn't count. I skipped through like the
It
entirety of
counts
it.
as an episode because I had to sit through it.
Oh,
In
okay.
that,
Wait, you watched the
right?
whole thing?
I watched all 20. Like, yeah, because I love my main man, Voldora.
Alright then. Alright.